gentlemen, welcome back to Nice Gambia. Welcome back to another interesting video. Currently, we are here right in the heart of Fonyi. We are here to showcase a land that is for sale, a piece of land here in the heart of Fonyi. Right now, we are going to engage with the very person who is in charge of the land. Hello, brother. How are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm fine, bro.
That's beautiful.
Today, right here, in Fonyi, and a piece of land that is for sale. Can you give us details about the land?
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate your comment and you are welcome. I am Omar. I am the custodian of this land, as you can see. The dimension of the land is 60 by 60. And as you can see, the location is very strategic. Right ahead on my far left, you have the school, that is the Citizen Basic Circle School. And behind the school, about 1 mile, you'll get to the main highway. And if you look at the distance between the plot of land and Brikama, it's basically 35 to 40 kilometers. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is so great. As you said, the land is very close to the main town, Brikama, and the size of the land is 60 by 60. Yeah. And then the place is having electricity and water. Can you explain more about that?
Yes, electricity and water is not primary around this area. However, a few meters away from the plot of land, water is available, electricity is also available. As you can see, the school has water and the nearby areas also have water. Here, as you can see, just 50 to 60 meters away from the land, there is an estate already, and plots have been sold, and people intend to construct. So when we assume that in the next 1 year or two, this place is going to be congested, as all these plants have been bought and sold to others. So subsequently, we expect to have more people around this area. And Kafuta nearby has a health center. So basically, if you are here, I don't think water will be an issue, neither electricity, no a problem to medical care or access to medical facilities.
So we can make a stroll, and then we showcase the size of the land for the people who are out there. Someone may be sitting there from Fonyi. As you say that the land is found here in Fonyi. Which village in Fonyi?
The village is called Kitisunga.
Yes. Just after block.
Yes, after block. You have you can hear the birds, you can interact with nature, the breeze also, and especially in the evening, if you go on the highway, you can see different types of fish that are sold at a very reasonable price. So one can interact with nature, have a very big plot of land which is at a very reasonable price. And sometimes people tend to run away from the combos because of the destruction, the pollution, and the crime rate to some extent. But here, you have the opposite of just that. Yeah.
So what message do you have for the people who are out there thinking to buy land in the Gambia here?
Yes, a land, as we know, when all other forms of economic activities fail, people go back to the land. And land is that asset that gradually increases in price or in value. See, so basically investing in a land that is safe, secure, and free from issues of ownership is a win. It's a win. So the plot of land is very strategically located. As you can see, it's not far from the school. You have an estate ahead, and the road is not far. So basically, we are talking about a mile from the road. Yeah. So access to electricity and water will not be an issue. So at the end of the day, even if one buys this plot and intends to keep it for future this year, It's also a win-win situation as the price of land keeps appreciating always. See? So we don't have any issues here. Once anyone is here and if the person is interested, the person could reach out to me. I'm the custodian of the land. It belongs to my uncle. The person could reach out to me. We could do all the necessary transfers or documentations. And if anyone wants to know the price, they could reach out to us too or to me personally, and we will sort things out. But my advice to these people or anyone here in the Gambia or in the diaspora who wants to buy a plot of land, my advice is it is an investment. It is for the future. And it is a win-win situation for all those that are involved in buying a safe plot of land, a land that is safe, free from trouble or issues. And that is exactly what we are going to give you.
Yeah, because nowadays, land dispute is very common in the country. Some people may buy a plot of land at the end of the day. When they go there, they will find that somebody have started building there, whilst they have already paid their money.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for other people who are giving out their money to people who are not reliable and people who don't come to the internet and sell their land? What advice do you have for them?
It is very important. My first advice is whenever you want to buy a plot of land, make sure you do your feasibility study. 1. 2, try to know the status of the land. Because you paying for a plot of land does not necessarily mean that the land belongs to you. Is the land leased in the first place? You don't know. Does the land belong to a particular family? Sometimes the land could belong to a community. You can just hear that, okay, this land is reasonable or being sold at a reasonable price. You just jump and then buy the plot of land. In the future, others can come and claim the same land. And in most cases, once an individual buys a plot of land and then goes out to lease the land, subsequently, if you buy the land, you are at a loss. So it is very risky to just go and buy a plot of land. Try to make your homework, do your homework, try to know whether the land is really sold by the owner, and let them bring you the documents. The documentation is very, very important. Very important. Yeah, although in most cases we have most of these issues in the combos, but in the rural areas we have them. We have such issues, but then they are at a minimum. Yeah, that is my advice. Make sure you try to know whether the land is being sold by the rightful owner. 2, is it a family plot? Does it belong to a family? One can just come and sell the plot of land and vanish with the money. Others can come and claim the land. It belongs to our father, this and that. So these things are very, very important. Yes, and the system too. Try to know whether the plot of land is already designated to a particular individual in the system, especially when it gets to the local council. Yeah, so these things are very important. The council, the seller, how honest is the seller? What is his past history? All these things are very important. Is it owned by the community or by a particular individual? Yeah, and then finally, the leasing of the land. Yeah, because a land is not going to be leased twice. So once an individual buys a plot of land and leases the land, if you go on to lease the same land, you will fail because it is not going to work. So obviously, it's either you go for your money, and in most cases, you don't get your money.
Yeah. Well, we would like to repeat the details of the land before we close the video.
Okay.
We would like you to mention the size of the land once again.
Okay, the dimension of the land is 60 by 60. Yeah, so it is huge, and the whole land was fenced, as you can see. But then there was this wind that came, and then this part of the land fell. See, but hopefully we would work on reconstructing it. Yeah, if that is not done, via intention to the same thing, we could discount for that work. So, yeah.
Is it necessary for us to disclose the price of the land?
Yes, it is. It is. No problem. The plot of land is being sold for 1.2 million. That is the first price, and it is highly negotiable. What we want is to see someone who will come forward and then say, okay, I'm interested. Then we are going to bargain. Yes. So we don't have a fixed price. If we see anyone who is seriously ready to buy the land, then we can negotiate terms and conditions. Yes.
So that's the man in charge of the land. Whosoever want a plot of land from Fonyi, you can pay your money to Omar. He's a very reliable man and trustworthy. Whosoever pays to him, your money is in safe hand. Omar, what is your final message to the people who are in the Gambia thinking to buy a piece of land and they are doubt of buying a land because nowadays land dispute is very common. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, my advice is don't always rush. Even when the price is reasonable or cheap, do your feasibility study. And try to know the history of the person who intends to sell the same land to you. Yes. You can see an individual who will just be close to the alcalo, and the person will go about selling the plots of land without the consent of the alcalo. Although in some cases, yes, there is that syndicate that work together. But now, once you know the history of the individual, that will give you a clue. Especially when you go on to investigate about the person, ask 10 people or 8 people, and they are telling you that, okay, so and so is dishonest. That is a red flag that you must not cross. You must not cross that red flag. You see? And my advice is, it depends on your budget. You see? But if I am advising people to buy a plot of land, I would advise the Fonis and the Nyomis. Yes.
Why the Fonis and the Nyomis?
Yes. Looking at the Fonis and the Nyomis, number one, land is reasonable in the Fonis and in the Nyomis. And then two, as the combos is becoming more and more of an issue with regards to ownership of land. And in some cases, even the people and the government have issues when it comes to physical planning. We have seen different demolition exercises that were carried out in the combos. And it feels very sad after someone has invested millions in buying a plot of land, constructing the plot of land, and just a matter of a week or two, you are given a notice that you should vacate the premises. Getting money is not easy. It's not easy, and construction is one of the biggest investments that people make. Constructing a house or a home is not easy.
Very expensive.
You see? So after going through all that, and some may even take loans, some may work for decades and then say, okay, now I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to build my house. After doing all that, all of a sudden you have been asked to go out. That is sad. And then always try to get the documents, especially the original documents, whenever any transaction is to occur. Your witnesses are very important too, you see. But above all that, leasing the plot of land is important. Before you buy a plot of land, try to know whether the plot has been leased or not. And the ownership is very important. I said earlier that you paying for a particular plot of land does not necessarily make you the owner of the land. Because whenever issues arise, they may refer back to certain things. You've paid your money. That does not mean that you own the land. And in some cases, several people have paid for the same land. So who owns the land now? So when it comes to land issues, it is very, very complex. Even if you want to invest a lot of money, it's best for you to have a lawyer who will give you the necessary advice that you need before investing so much in a plot of land, especially in the combos. Yeah, especially in the combos.
Yeah, it's common in the combos because some people, they may buy a plot of land. At the end of the day, they will lose the money and lose the land.
Yes, you see, and in some cases, they will go to the court, and before a judgment is given or a verdict by the court, it takes years. And sometimes people will say, justice delayed is justice denied. So you want to do your things, you have your plans. Sorry. Let's say you intend to buy a plot of land in the year 2026. And in the year 2028, you have already done your construction. And in the year 2030, you intend to get a wife and start your family. After doing all of that, and let's say next month you are supposed to get a wife, and from there you intend to take your wife to your home, and you have been served a court order that, okay, this is not your land. After investing so much, it means that 4 or 5 years of your plan has just gone down the drain. So you see, and that could lead to depression. Depression could bring in other factors. You could get sick, you could go mad, you could even die. So that is the effect. So it is very serious. It is very serious. One has to be very cautious of what they do before they involve themselves in such issues.
Oh, that's very important. Very important advice for those who are interested of buying a plot of land. So what is the number that when people need you, they can easily contact you?
Yeah, I have QCell, that is 361-5018. 361-5018. I also have AfriCell. However, my QCell is my WhatsApp number, precisely for those in the diaspora. Whatever information you need, I'll give it to you. I have official, that is 2160767.
Read it again.
2160767. I also have commune as well. That is 6599215. 6599215.
Yeah. So what is your final message to the customers
Yes.
who are thinking to buy a plot of land? What is your message?
My message is be free to reach out to us. We have a legacy to protect. We have a legacy that we are creating. And that is, our business is going to be based on honesty, reliability, and trustworthiness. These three principles are very important. They are very important. They mean a lot to us. And this is just the beginning, because we intend to be involved in so much, especially the Gambia is concerned. I have a business that I'm about to launch. And once I launch that business, it will target especially those in the diaspora. Yes. I have this connection with those in the diaspora because they rely on me, they trust me. You see, my uncle is not here. I am the custodian of this land. I was the supervisor of this construction. And this is not the only plot of land. And we have been working together for more than a decade now, you see. But the reason why I am here today is because he can rely on me, and he's not the only one, because he will talk to his colleagues and tell them about me and how they can rely on me, you see. And that is why the core principles of our business is going to be based on these three principles. So we are going to expand it. But whenever I launch the business, I believe I will interact with you people, and we will sell the whole idea out there. We are saying that gone are the days when the diasporans are going to be cheated. Gone are the days when the diasporans are going to be lied to. This is the norm. You talk to them, they tell you, okay, I sent money to my brother. I told my brother to do this and that and that. At the end of the day, he did the opposite. I was in the diaspora. I sent 3 million for them to construct a house or a home for me in the Gambia. When I got to the Gambia, what I saw was a mess. You see, some people even go crazy. You see, Europe is not paradise, or America is not paradise. It is not as if they just go there and start plucking money from the trees. No. If you are involved in a business with someone and you feel that you are not being given what you deserve, sit the person down. Tell the person, you know what, we are doing this, but I feel that I'm underpaid. Okay? I suggest you do this and that, rather than stealing from the person, rather than lying to the person. Okay? And you see instances wherein people do crazy things to the diasporians, and it hurts. It hurts. What does not belong to you does not belong to you. It's not yours. Yes. So I am assuring you, this plot is safe and sound, and it's secure. That is an assurance. I live in the Gambia here. I am here with my wife and my child, so I have nothing to hide. And the owner of this land is someone with principles too. So once we get to all that, we will unravel all that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Mendy. Yeah, it's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, we cherish every moment being with you, wonderful viewers across the globe. We say thank you for watching Nice Gambia. And make sure we are urging to everyone who are in the Gambia or out there in the diaspora who need a piece of land. He's a very trustworthy and reliable man. Call him and talk to him.